I hope our journey here was a pleasant one.
Hey guys, Sean here. 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 And today, too freaking hot for this. Today I'm going to be talking about random trivial information about Thomas DVDs and VHSs. Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. Releases like the classic excitement of 10 years of Thomas the Tank Engine, the humorous antics of cranky bugs and other stories, the heart-pounding adventures of races, rescues, and runaways, the whimsical fun of Make Someone Happy, and the toe-tapping sing-along fun of Thomas's Tracks iTunes. Yeah, 10 points if you know where that's from. Now, for the first fact. Out of the over 100 Thomas DVDs that came out in America, this country, only 10 of them, or 11, if you count Hooray Adventures on Sodor, that don't have Thomas on the cover. There are Percy Takes the Plunge, Henry and the Elephant, Rescue to the Rescue, Percy's Chocolate Crunch, Percy's Ghostly Trick, Spills and Chills, Thomas, Percy and the Dragon, Best of James, Best of Gordon, and Best of Percy. Hooray Adventures on Sodor only has Rusty on the cover, but I don't have it. The Trust Thomas DVD is really weird. It doesn't use the original VHS master, it just takes the episodes from random DVDs and VHSs. Trust Thomas from Thomas and His Friends Get Along, Mavis and Trouble with Mud from 10 Years of Thomas, No Joke for James from Best of James, and Percy's Promise from Thomas and His Friends Help Out. You could tell because on the DVD only Toby's Tightrope and Henry's Forest have the fonts that all the episodes on the VHS have. There was plenty of sand on the rails and his wheels gripped splendidly. Name that episode. Well, this is new. The disc of Thomas and His Friends Get Along is really scratched up, but it also doesn't have the little image on the bottom that's on the cover of the DVD. See, look, it doesn't have Duncan from Passengers and Polish, even though that's not on this DVD. For some reason, this DVD doesn't have that little image on the bottom, but other DVDs have that. Now, let's go home. The magic of editing. On one version of the Thomas Gets Tricked VHS, during Trouble for Thomas, you can literally hear a guy say, "Look out for the train," in the scene where Thomas is going up Gordon's Hill and then the camera zooms out. The version that I have that says it is the 2003 ink label with the new logo.
At last, Thomas slowed down as he came to Gordon's Hill.
Go for the train. Go for the train. Go for the train.
But on the wiki, it says that the 1992 Strand Home Video release, this one has it, but it's not on this one. I have a Thomas's Snowy Surprise VHS where on the back it says Thomas's Snowy Surprise instead of It's Only Snow for some odd reason. You know how Season 5 has 4 releases that are pretty much the same design but except with different colors and different episodes? Season 4 also has that with these 4 releases. They have 24 out of 26 episodes of Season 4, but only on VHS because the DVDs, Thomas and Special Letter has this style cover. Henry and the Elephant and Rescue to the Rescue have this style cover, the new style Anchor Bay cover. And Thomas Meets the Queen was never released on DVD. Thomas's Sodor Stories is the only home media release in America, this side of the pond, to feature only Season 2 episodes. Better Late Than Ever and Woolly Bear. The reason why Thomas and His Friends Help Out has 11 episodes is because it has 1 episode from each of the 11 first releases, with Thomas Gets Tricked, James Learns a Lesson, Tenders and Turntables, Thomas Breaks the Rules, Better Late Than Ever, Trust Thomas, Thomas Gets Bumped, Thomas, Percy and the Dragon, Daisy, James Goes Buzz Buzz, and Percy's Ghostly Trick. The 1992 cover of Tenders and Turntables has 2 typos. On the cover, it doesn't have an S at the end of turntable, or on the side, And on the back, it says Toby the Train Engine instead of Tram Engine.
So white.
Thomas's Christmas Party is the first VHS to feature episodes from previous releases. You see on the back it says Terrence the Tractor Volume 2, Flying Kipper Volume 3, Thomas Saves the Day Volume 1, A Scarf for Percy Volume 8, Henry's Forest Volume 6, and A New Friend for Thomas Volume 9. And the volumes represent the VHS that we're on. Thomas's Christmas Wonderland is probably the rarest DVD to be released because it was never re-released by Lionsgate, only released in 2002 and never released after that. Yeah, I don't even have the DVD because I only have the VHS because it's like really rare. And on eBay, the cheapest you can find it is like $20. Whale of a Tale and Other Sodor Adventures is the first DVD to have a subtitle like that since Percy's Ghostly Trick and Other Stories. And also, Christmas on Sodor from 2017 is the first DVD to list the episodes on the back since Percy's Ghostly Trick that came out in 2007. Rusty to the Rescue is the first VHS where the title episode is not the first episode. The first episode is Grand Puff, and Rusty to the Rescue is the 5th episode. If this followed in that tradition, it would be called Grand Puff and Other Thomas Stories and have Duke on the cover. And also, Rusty to the Rescue is the first VHS where it doesn't end on the end credits rolling over a freeze frame of the last scene of the last episode. This is the first one to feature the Thomas at the yard where the credits are just rolling up. The VHS of the 2002 version of Sing Along and Stories, on the back it says our song tracks are, but on the DVD it says our story stops are, even though there's only 2 story stops and 6 songs. Oh, and here's a personal piece of trivia. These 2 VHSs, Untitled Engine with Gordon on the cover and Thomas Comes to Breakfast with Henry on the cover, I never had as a kid, but I've always wanted them because whenever I would put in a DVD to watch, because I love Thomas, and this promo would come up.
All aboard for excitement with everyone's #1 train, Thomas the Tank Engine. Add all of these titles to your Thomas collection today.
I've always saw this one, and I never had them as a kid, but I've always wanted them because the covers, they just look cool. But now I do. I found this one off of eBay and this one at Goodwill. It still has a sticker. Mud Glorious Mud is probably the episode with the strangest choice of episodes. It has Edward the Really Useful Engine from Season 6, Not So Hasty Cakes from Season 7, which for some reason was retitled Thomas and the Avalanche, even though there is no avalanche. Fun fact, Not So Hasty Cakes is the only episode in America to not be released on VHS, on any VHS. It also has Missing Cars from Season 10, which for some reason was retitled Missing Freight Cars, even though Michael Brandon says Missing Cars.
Missing Cars.
It has the Jack in the Pack episode, Mud Glorious Mud, which is where the title and the cover comes from, which makes this the only DVD to feature regular episodes and Jack in the Pack episodes. It also has A Friend in Need, a Jack in the Pack episode from Season 6, which marks it the first time one of those 2 episodes was narrated by Alec Baldwin. And it also has Edward, Trevor, and the Really Useful Party from Season 3. The 2002 VHS version of Thomas and the Special Letter, yeah, I don't have it because it's pretty much the opposite of Untitled Engine and Thomas Comes to Breakfast because I always had it as a kid and I really liked it, but now I don't have it and I really want it. The story stops are really weird. On the DVD it says Thomas and the Special Letter, Home at Last, Rock and Roll, Steamroller, Toe Stands By, and Balled Out, and that's the actual episode list. But on the VHS, on the back, it says Thomas and the Special Letter, Rock and Roll, Toad Stands By, Home at Last, Steamroller, and Balled Out. So it's almost like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th episodes instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. When I was a kid, I always noticed that because it was the only one that was like that. The Hooray for Thomas DVD is also really weird. It starts with a new series intro, but it doesn't cut to the overhead shot of the island of Sodor. It just cuts to the first episode. And it also has name boards and new series music. Good morning, called Harold. Just kidding, I have another one. Now let's talk about goofs. And by goofs, I mean random errors that were made on DVDs when they were being published. So the first one, New Friends for Thomas. You could see right here Spencer is duplicated for some reason, and right here the back part of Netford Sheds is not really cut out properly. Thomas, Percy, and the Dragon. Right here you can see that the brake van is duplicated 4 times for some odd reason. Thomas's Halloween Adventures. Right here you could see another Emily's Funnel behind Thomas, even though Emily's not on any of the episodes on this. James and the Red Balloon. You can see right here James is missing his whistle, and right here there's a little spot that somebody used like a clone tool or something. Thomas and the Special Letter. Birdie is mirrored, because this is what Birdie is supposed to look like. Now let's talk about another type of goof. A goof where there's a picture from an episode that's not on this release. First up, Thomas's Friends Get Along. This picture is from Passengers and Polish, even though that's not on this release. Percy Takes the Plunge. That picture is from Thomas's Day Off, all the way in Season 9. Thomas Comes to Breakfast. That picture is from Trust Thomas, but that's not on this release. A Big Day for Thomas. That picture is from Train Stops Play, even though that episode is not on this DVD. Cranky Bugs. That picture is from Thomas and the Rumors, even though that's not on this release. On Site with Thomas. That picture is from Jack Jumps In, even though that's not on this release. Sing Along. That picture is from Make Someone Happy, even though that's not on this release. Thomas's Trusty Friends. That picture is from A Friend in Need, even though that's not on this release. And Rusty to the Rescue. These 2 episodes are from Trusty Rusty, and that's, you guessed it, not on this release. Now let's talk about the VHSs that have goofs on them. Thomas and the Special Letter. That picture is from Thomas Meets the Queen, but that's not on this release. Thomas, Percy, and the Dragon. That picture is from Thomas Gets Bumped, but that's not on this release. Thomas Gets Bumped. Hey. That picture is from The Runaway, but that's not on that release. Thomas Comes to Breakfast. That picture is from Percy Takes the Plunge. Thomas's Trackside Tunes. That picture is from Ba, but that's not on this release. Sing Along, the 1995 version. That picture is from Sleeping Beauty, but that's not on this release. Gallant Old Engine, the 2001 version. That picture is from Steamroller, but that's not on this release. James Goes Buzz Buzz. That picture is from Trust Thomas, but that's not on this release. And Percy's Ghostly Trick. This picture is from A Scarf for Percy, and this picture is from Henry's Forest, and both are, you guessed it, not on this release. Best of Thomas. If you open it up, it has this thing. If you look right here, Rheneas has Skarloey's picture, and Skarloey has Rheneas's picture. James and the Red Balloon has 3 pieces of trivia, not counting the goof right there and there. On the back it says Edward the Really Useful Engine, but on the menu and the DVD it says Edward the Very Useful Engine. Right here it says see how Donald and Duncan learn that being cross with each other. I'm pretty sure Duncan isn't in twin trouble. And also on the menu, Thomas says this.
Whether it's Donald and Douglas in Double Trouble.
He says double trouble instead of twin trouble. Oh, and here's something that I missed. On the cover, balloon is spelled correctly, but on the disc, it's spelled with only 1 L. Balloon. The booklet for Thomas and the Jet Engine. On the screenshot for the Pick a Story section, it is the only one to feature the second page of stories instead of the first page, with Harold and the Flying Horse, Bulgy Rides Again, and Salty Stormy Tale. Thomas and the Jet Engine is the only DVD to credit Michael Brandon in the classic series intro, and vice versa. Thomas's Halloween Adventures and Mud Glorious Mud are the only DVDs to credit George Carlin and Alec Baldwin in the new series intro. The menu of Thomas's Christmas Wonderland was reused in Thomas's Snowy Surprise, which is why Percy says this.
I'm a really useful engine, and in my shed, you can play all the fun stories of Thomas's Christmas Wonderland from start to finish.
On the pamphlet for New Friends for Thomas, right here, Alfie is misspelled, A-L-P-H-I-E, even though in the very same sentence, Alfie is spelled correctly with an F. And also another goof is that under Sing Along, 5 New Engines in the Shed, it says, just select a song and follow the bouncing steam cloud. even though it's a season 7 song and they stopped doing that after season 5. Did you know that in 2003 there were 5 Thomas VHSs that came with cassettes as samplers with 4 Thomas songs on each of them?
A Big Day for Thomas, Thomas Gets Bumped, Salty Secret, Best of Gordon, and Percy's Chocolate Crunch.
In the pamphlet for Best of James, under the sing-along, pictures that they chose for Don't Judge a Book by its Cover and Harold the Helicopter are different than the ones in the actual menu. And also, in the fold-out, under Quarry, it says, Cranky the Crane is very useful here. I'm pretty sure Cranky isn't at the Quarry. Now, let's talk about some trivia on some Thomas VHSs. First, this release of Percy's Ghostly Trick, like the original first release from Quality Family Entertainment, unlike the last third of Thomas and Percy's Mountain Adventure, like, you know how it is, in the UK it's about Christmas, but in the US it's about Thanksgiving, and there's a scene where Thomas and Percy are talking about Santa Claus, so they had to cut that out. But on some releases, like on Thomas's Christmas Wonderland, they keep the video in, but like the audio, they cut out the audio. The version on this, it's almost as if they took the US dubbing track and the UK dubbing track and layered them on top of each other, where the US has a scene taken out, but the UK didn't take out that scene. It's really weird. Here it is. Watch it right now.
Percy, I've just remembered. Your mail train is still back at the siding, isn't it? Percy hurried back to fetch it. Just then, Toby arrived with Henrietta. We've brought lots of hot drinks and food for the villagers, he whistled. All the engines were fast asleep in the sheds as Toby ran silently into the yard.
Oh, and here's another piece of personal trivia. All the VHSs that we have are not our childhood VHSs. The only VHS from our childhood that we have is this one from Just Thomas. Like, this is the only one from our childhood that we still have because we ruined them because we were kids. All of our Thomas VHSs we got after we got this lot of 12 off of eBay. Thomas's Trackside Tunes, Sing Along, Big Day for Thomas, Thomas Comes to Breakfast, Thomas's Sodor Stories, yeah, rare one, sampler. 10 Years of Thomas, Make Someone Happy, Spills and Chills, Races, Rescues, and Runaways, Cranky Bugs, Thomas's Sodor Celebration, and Songs from the Station. It's like the opposite of our Thomas DVDs because most of those DVDs we had as a kid, but like all these VHSs we didn't have. We only got them after we got these. Now let's go rapid fire. This DVD is called Sing Along and Stories, but on the menu it says Sing Along Songs and Stories. Engine Friends is like a really weird DVD. It came out in 2012, like during the CGI series, and it has like episodes from the classic series. It's the last DVD to have episodes from the model era, and last DVD to feature narration from Ringo Starr, George Carlin, or Alec Baldwin, and the last one to use the classic series intro. And it's also the first DVD to feature Ringo Starr's narration of Save for Scrap and New Friends for Thomas on any medium, not just VHS, not just DVD and VHS. It's the first time Michael Brandon's narration of Emily's New Coaches was released on DVD, and the first time the episodes Hide and Peep, Toby's Afternoon Off, and Emily in the Garbage was released on DVD. And also in the episode Thomas and the Statue, like the first couple seconds are the first seconds of Thomas and the New Engine, which is really weird.
Thomas and the Statue. Winter was coming to the island of Sodor.
On Songs from the Station, on the running time it says 120 minutes, even though there's just like 2 episodes and 8 songs. The 10 Years of Thomas DVD, under the episode selection, it shows Thomas's Anthem grand finale under the episode selection, even though it's not an episode. Hooray for Thomas, the menu is like really weird. It has Michael Brandon narrating it, but not the other guy, Robin Smith. That's his name, if you didn't know.
Welcome to the island of Sodor. I am Sir Topham Hatt, and today is a very important day on the Sodor Railway.
Case! Aww. Give him a big hug. Case! Where are you going, Casey? Casey! On this DVD of Thomas and his friends help out, during Down the Mine, it says, during Down the Mine, when the narrator says long ago, like part of the sound is cut out.
Long ago, miners digging for lead had made tunnels under the ground.
In Foolish Freight Cars, the last line is cut out, like, after he says, "You made the most troublesome train on the line behave. After that performance, you deserve to keep your red coat." He doesn't say that. Hey, Case! And also, on the pamphlet that I don't have, it says that Thomas's Trackside Tunes is available on DVD, even though it wasn't when this was first released. On this VHS, like, apparently, according to the wiki, there's like a draft version of the song "Troublesome Trucks" where trucks are laughing throughout it. That's supposed to be on this VHS, but it's not on the VHS.
Because there's trucks and trucks will get the engines every time. Trucks and trucks will run the engines all the line. They push them here, push them there, till they go too fast. Then they push them once again, locking out and crash.
Best of Gordon is the only best of DVD to feature regular name boards between the episodes, probably because it came out like in 2004 and the other ones came out like a couple years before that. And finally, the episodes on Salty Secrets are like really weird. Like, if you watch the widescreen versions, the UK versions, like, some scenes are in widescreen and the other scenes are in full screen. It's like really weird when they were filming it, probably because these are the first 6 episodes in season 6, and they were like just getting used to the widescreen, so they just filmed certain shots, and yeah, it's weird. Let's talk about the New Friends for Thomas DVD again. The bottom image is taken from Thomas and His Friends Get Along, but with Harvey, Murdoch, and Arthur over it, and mirrored, because if you look right here, you can see the causeway right here. Also, in the Really Useful Places game, they say who would be most likely down at the quarry unloading cargo from Bulstrode when they're talking about Cranky, even though Cranky doesn't work at the quarry. Yeah, how did they make that mistake? And finally, right here, they say Thomas, James, Percy, and Gordon, even though Cole! Even though in this picture and on the menu, it's Thomas, Salty, Percy, and Gordon. Oh, and speaking of Thomas and His Friends Get Along, you see right here, Duncan's face is edited, because right here he's wearing one face, but in the reflection, he's wearing his different face, his grumpy face. I can't believe I haven't shown you that before. Oh, and here's probably the biggest goof in the history of Thomas DVDs. In Steamies vs. Diesels, during the Steamy or Diesel game, they call Spencer a diesel, even though he's clearly not.
Good try, but I actually have a horn instead of a whistle, so I am a diesel engine.
And also on Steamies vs. Diesels, during the Steamy Stumpers game, they get a whole bunch of facts wrong. They say that in Percy's new whistle, Percy blows his whistle at Elizabeth, who's delivering food for ducks, which that never happens in the episode. They say in Thomas to the Rescue, Sir Matt sent Thomas to the quarry because Bill and Ben are needed for repairs, but that never happened, except for a deleted scene, so maybe that was the original plot. They say in Henry and the Wishing Tree that cakes and buns splattered all over Henry, even though that never happened. And finally, in Squeak, Rattle, and Roll, they say that Gordon blew his whistle to cover up the rattling, even though he just slowed down to cover up the rattling in the episode. On the Thomas's Christmas Wonderland release, on the back, it says George Carlin is the only narrator, even though Alec Baldwin narrated Snow. And also in the description, it says, cheer on Thomas, Harold, Percy, and Terrence as they shovel out stranded villagers just in time for Christmas, even though in the US version of that episode, Thomas and Percy's Mountain Adventure, it's about Thanksgiving. And on the back of the VHS, it says there are 2 new stories, even though there's only one new story, being Snow. On Site with Thomas is the only DVD on the entire planet to contain the work song. You know, the soda's always busy with jobs that must be done. Everyone knows that Steamies vs. Diesels is the first DVD to feature new series episodes, but it wasn't until 3 years later, with Thomas in the Toy Workshop, that an Anchor Bay release had new series episodes on it. And also, the episodes on this release are from Season 9, but their titles aren't said aloud, unlike when they were aired on TV. Their titles were said aloud. Hey, you remember the first piece of trivia from the first of these videos, where I said that there's only 10 DVDs that doesn't have Thomas on the cover? Well, Best of James is the only DVD to not have Thomas anywhere on the DVD. See, look, he's not on the cover, or on the spine, or on the back.
Hey, remember when I said that in 2003 they released cassettes with some VHS tapes? Well, to go along with that, they also released some DVDs with CDs inside of them. The ones that they did that with was Best of Thomas, Best of James, Thomas's Christmas Wonderland, Percy's Chocolate Crunch, James and the Red Balloon, and Thomas's Snowy Surprise. All of them were released with a thick case like this, except for James and the Red Balloon for some reason. And also, Thomas's Christmas Wonderland was never released without a sampler CD, which is why it's kind of rare nowadays. Henry and the Elephant and Rusty to the Rescue are the only two Anchor Bay releases to not come with booklets, probably because they were the last two releases by Anchor Bay. On the back cover of the Thomas and the Special Letter VHS, they say, "Join Thomas, Rusty, Sir Handel, and Daisy," even though Daisy isn't on any of the episodes on this VHS. And boom, I get a haircut. Did you know that there were only 3 episodes of season 11 that are on a regular Thomas DVD that isn't Engines and Escapades? Henry's Lucky Day on Holiday Express, and Hide and Peep and Emily in the Garbage on Engine Friends. These 4 episodes were never released on any home video. These 8 episodes were released on a digital download pack called Fun on the Rails Play Pack, and these 5 episodes were released individually on a series of DVDs called Hit Favorites. Did you know that the first 4 VHS tapes that came out on June 7th, 1990 and September 27th, 1990 actually had blue tapes instead of black tapes? And then they went on to red, and then they went on to the famous black. Now, let's talk about all the different errors when it comes to captioning the Thomas DVDs and VHSs. On the Daisy VHS, during Safe from Scrap, they say Gem Coal with a G instead of a J. On the Thomas and the Magic Railroad DVD, during Really Useful Engine, they say Last Controller instead of Fat Controller, and now he's got a workshop instead of now he's got a branch line. In Best of James, during the intermissions when they play Really Useful Engine, the captions say, "He's the prettiest red engine we adore," instead of "He's the really useful engine we adore." In Percy's Chocolate Crunch, during Little Engines, when they say Thomas, Percy, Bill, and Ben, the captions say Thomas, Cassie, Bill, and Ben. On Thomas and his Friends Get Along, during Percy Proves a Point, during the Percy's Victory Song, the captions say Old French Line instead of Old Branch Line. On the Percy Saves the Day DVD, they spell Toby with 2 B's throughout the entire thing. On Thomas and the Really Brave Engines, during Thomas and the Search for Fergus, when Diesel says "Don't interfere," the captions say "Darn it to fear." On Trust Thomas, during Toby's Tightrope, when the trucks say on, the captions say un. On the Thomas and the Special Letter DVD, when Thomas says "I had a race with Birdie once," they spell Birdie like this. In Percy's Ghostly Trick, during Thomas's Anthem, they say "Beat hearts along the way" instead of "He rides along the way." And also they say "Doug" instead of "Duck." On Thomas's Trusty Friends, during One Friendly Family, they say Frankie instead of Cranky. And on Thomas Gets Tricked, during the very beginning of Thomas Gets Tricked, the captions say that George Carlin is the narrator, even though it's Ringo Starr. Most of the time I only talk about US DVDs and VHSs for this series, but here's something I just can't pass up. The Brazilian cover of Thomas and His Friends Help Out, not only does it use the Cody Mundi Studios illustrations instead of the pictures like the American version, it recreates the image from Percy's Promise, but with Henry instead of Percy. This next piece of trivia doesn't concern any one release, it's just trivia about episodes that were only on Shining Time Station and never on any home video. George Carlin's narration of Come Out Henry and Henry to the Rescue was never on DVD. It was only on a really rare version of the Thomas Gets Tricked VHS where George Carlin narrates all the episodes, and they add a couple of episodes at the end. Ringo Starr's narration of Woolly Bear and Percy's Ghostly Trick were never on any home video, unless you want to count the audio of Woolly Bear being on the cassette/CD that came with the Diesel's Devious Deed and Other Thomas Stories book. Now, let's talk about the reverse. The episodes Daisy and Percy's Predicament were never on Shining Time Station. So just imagine you're in 1993 and you're in a video store and you find this. You're like, what, Shining Time Station? What, she was never on Shining Time Station. Who's that character? Who's Daisy? As well as George Carlin's narration of A Proud Day for James, Safe from Scrap, and The Runaway. Yeah, you couldn't find George Carlin's narration of A Proud Day for James anywhere until 2002 when Best of James first came out. And here's some more Shining Time Station trivia. The Christmas special "'Tis a Gift," when it aired on TV, the Thomas episodes were Terrence the Tractor and Thomas's Christmas Party, but when it came out on VHS, they switched the episodes to Thomas's Christmas Party and Thomas and the Missing Christmas Tree. For Thomas and the Missing Christmas Tree, they didn't have Ringo Starr re-narrate it, so they just took the UK version and took out all the sentences mentioning the Fat Controller. Now let's do something that I've never done before. Let's talk about the DVDs from the Brenner era. On the DVD Trouble on the Tracks, there are 5 episodes in the US, but 7 in the UK. Those 2 extra episodes are
Duck in the Slip Coaches and Missing Gator, and were later put on Tales on the Rails. But then, on the DVD Signals Crossed, they did the same thing, but didn't put the 2 extra episodes on another DVD. All but 1 episode of Season 19 is on these 6 DVDs. Whale of a Tale, Wild Water Rescue, Thomas's Christmas Carol, Tales on the Rails, Start Your Engines, and Ultimate Friendship Adventures. The 1 episode that's not is called Helping Hero. It was on a UK DVD called Tales from the Rails, not to be confused with Tales on the Rails. That DVD also contains the 5 episodes of Season 20 that's on Ultimate Friendship Adventures. The 5 episodes of Season 19 that's on Ultimate Friendship Adventures are on a UK DVD called Full Steam to the Rescue. For Season 20, only 19 episodes of the 28 were released in America. There's a UK DVD called Team Up with Thomas, and I know that's the title of a DVD from Season 12, but they just used that title anyway. If that DVD was released in America, we'd have all 28 episodes of Season 20, minus Bradford the Brake Fan. And then for Season 21, they completely gave up and only released Christmas on Sodor, which has 5 of the 18 episodes of Season 20. The UK did get 2 extra DVDs called On the Go with Thomas and Danger at the Docks, which completed Season 21. The 2005 re-release of the James Learns a Lesson VHS, the one with this label, has Thomas's anthem at the end of the tape, just like the DVD released at the same time, which makes this the only Thomas VHS to be re-released with a change of content, not counting the George Carlin Thomas Gets Tricked or the releases with echoed soundtracks.
Some Thomas VHS releases have the US and UK soundtracks overlapping, creating an echoed effect. I'm going to attempt to explain to you which tapes have that mistake. If you're not familiar with it, here's what it sounds like.
It was a beautiful day, but Edward was worried. It was a beautiful day, but Edward was worried.
Some versions of the 1995 release of Thomas Gets Tricked, Trust Thomas, and Thomas Percy and the Dragon are echoed. And also, every version of Thomas Gets Bumped and Daisy have echoed soundtracks, minus some releases from 1993 with these labels, and the Time Life releases. And finally, some 1994 and 2000 copies of Percy's Ghostly Trick, like I showed in Part 1. As well as the French-Canadian releases of Cranky Bugs, Races, Rescues, and Runaways, and Make Someone Happy, which are titled Thomas, Pierre et l'Escargot, Thomas Percy and Also Coach, Quelque chose dans l'air, Something in the Air, and Hooray pour toujours, Happy Ever After. Here's how to tell if your tape has an echo. The echoed version of Thomas Gets Bumped has Trevor's theme at the beginning of Edward, Trevor, and the Really Useful Party.
Trevor the traction engine is old-fashioned, but he doesn't care. Trevor the traction engine is old-fashioned, but he doesn't care.
On Thomas Percy and the Dragon, in the episode Thomas Percy and the Dragon, the owl shrieks twice, just like on the UK dub.
Oh! Oh!
On Trust Thomas, the ending of Mavis isn't cut off and you hear the ending theme, and the episode titles are in Rockwell font instead of the original, which is called Gloucester STD Bold.
She took the cars to the sheds and scuttled home to the quarry as quickly as she could. She took the cars to the sheds and scuttled home to the quarry as quickly as she could.
You could tell on the Daisy VHS during Percy's predicament when he leaves the quarry. And on the Percy's Ghostly Trick VHS towards the ending of Thomas and Percy's Mountain Adventure.
Your mail train is still back at the siding, isn't it? Percy hurried back to fetch it. Just then, Toby arrived with Henrietta. We've brought lots of hot drinks and food for the villagers, he whistled.
In 1994, the company Time Life re-released the first 10 VHS tapes as a mail-in order, and according to Oliver 11 GWR, Trust Thomas was a freebie that they would give out to parents who want to try it out, and if you didn't like it, you could just return it, hence why this version is far more common than all the others. Hey, you know when I said that Season 11 there are only 3 episodes that are on a regular DVD that isn't Engines and Escapades? Well, here are the only episodes of Season 4 to be available on DVD before 2007 when Thomas and the Special Letter came out. Thomas Meets the Queen and Thomas and Stepney on Best of Thomas, Special Funnel on Thomas's Christmas Wonderland, Fish on Fun with Thomas, Thomas and the Special Letter on the Take Along Play Scene DVD of the same name, Henry and the Elephant on 10 Years of Thomas, and Peter, Sam and the Refreshment Lady and Bulldog on Sing Along. The DVD Santa's Little Engine contains the season 13 episode Snow Tracks, re-narrated by Mark Morgan, which makes it the only time that a CGI episode was re-narrated in English, and the last time that a US DVD contains an episode that was on a previous release. The only DVDs to have Edward on the cover are 10 Years of Thomas, Come Ride the Rails, and Merry Winter Wish. And to go along with that, Thomas and the Really Brave Engines is the only DVD to have Donald and Douglas on the cover. Percy's Ghostly Trick is the only DVD to have Oliver on the cover. And Fun with Thomas and The Thomas Way are the only DVDs to have Duck on the cover. Now let's talk about some more goofs. On the 10 Years of Thomas, on the back it says Henry the Elephant instead of Henry and the Elephant, and it's even on the DVD. And on the 1990 release of Thomas Gets Tricked, A Big Day for Thomas is mistitled as A Big Day Out for Thomas. You know how some versions of the Thomas's Snowy Surprise VHS list Thomas's Snowy Surprise instead of It's Only Snow on the episode selection? Well, the Thomas's Snowy Surprise DVD that comes with the CD sampler also has that mistake. See, look, Thomas's Snowy Surprise and It's Only Snow. And also the pamphlet that it came with has that mistake as well. See, look, Thomas's Snowy Surprise and It's Only Snow. On the Thomas and the Special Letter VHS, right before Don't Judge a Book by its cover starts, you could see a few frames of the start of Gone Fishing, which was the song on Rusty to the Rescue, the previous VHS release. Percy's Chocolate Crunch is the only DVD whose booklet is printed in landscape mode. I have no idea why. Here's another goof. There is a second funnel behind Thomas on the 2009 cover of James Learns a Lesson. On Thomas Gets Tricked, there are a couple of lines that are in the 1990 version that were redubbed in later versions, and here they are.
Thomas likes to tease Gordon with his whistle. Thomas likes to tease Gordon with his whistle. And off Thomas ran laughing, and off he ran laughing. Maybe I don't have to tease Gordon to feel important. Maybe I don't have to tease Gordon to feel important. Edward's driver came up. Edward's driver came up. How long do you think Henry will stay in the tunnel? How long do you think Henry will stay in the tunnel? I'd like to come out of the tunnel, but Henry didn't know how to ask. I'd like to come out of the tunnel, but Henry didn't know how to ask.
Now let's talk about some versions of VHS tapes that don't exist. There doesn't seem to be an early 1995 variant for James Learns a Lesson and Thomas Gets Bumped. There doesn't exist a 1999 label for A Big Day for Thomas, which means it was only available for a short amount of time in 1998, which is why it's really rare nowadays. There doesn't seem to be a 2000 blue tape of James Learns a Lesson, Sing-Along, or Rescue to the Rescue. And there doesn't seem to be a 2004 label of any of these releases. However, there is a 2004 label of Thomas Gets Tricked and James Goes Buzz Buzz, which means that those covers that were first released in 1995 were still available in stores up until 2004, 9 years later. In 2009, Lionsgate got the distribution rights to Thomas from Anchor Bay, and they re-released every DVD from Best of Thomas to Rusty to the Rescue except for these. Thomas's Christmas Wonderland, obviously it was never even released by itself without a CD sampler. Salty Secret, it was only available in Canada, and in the US it was re-released as Harvey to the Rescue. Trust Thomas and Thomas Gets Tricked only in these double features. And Trackside Tunes, only in Canada. The non-Anchor Bay DVDs that they didn't re-release are Steamies vs. Easels, only in double features, and these DVD packs. It's Great to Be an Engine, only in these DVD packs. Songs from the Station, and Milkshake Muddle, only in a Spanish double feature. Fun fact, when Lionsgate re-released the DVDs in 2009, they all still had the Anchor Bay logo on them, except for Hooray for Thomas for some reason. Between 2005 and early 2007, Anchor Bay released home video bonus packs, which are DVDs with wooden railway items inside of them. And the DVDs that came inside of them were slimmer than regular DVDs. They made them for every DVD between Best of Thomas and A Big Day for Thomas, except for these: Cranky Bugs, Spills and Chills, Thomas's Christmas Wonderland, Thomas and His Friends Help Out, and Thomas and His Friends Get Along. And they also didn't make them for the first 4 Season 8 releases. After that, they started putting regular cases inside of home video bonus packs, so every DVD after Percy's Ghostly Trick never got a slim case. Except for Ultimate Christmas, Thomas Gets Tricked, and Thomas and the Toy Workshop for some reason. Now let's talk about some trivia about how some releases came to be. The reason why Anchor Bay released Best of Percy, Best of Thomas, and Best of James when they did was because in 2001 they already released all of Season 5, so they needed to release something until Season 6 came out, so they released compilations based on certain characters. The same can be said in 1998 when they released Thomas and His Friends Get Along, Thomas Comes to Breakfast, and A Big Day for Thomas. They already released all of Season 4, so they needed something until Season 5 came out. And it's a good thing that they did, because most of these George Carlin's narrations were never on any other release. The first 5 VHS tapes released in America have all of Ringo Starr's narrations in the same order as how they appeared on Shining Time Station Season 1, except for 5. Percy Takes the Plunge, which was the second story on the episode Mapping It Out. The first story on Mapping It Out was The Runaway, which was the last episode on Better Late Than Never. Percy's Ghostly Trick and Woolly Bear from the episode Things That Go Gahooga in the Night, and Safe from Scrap and A New Friend for Thomas from the season finale Is This the End? Ringo Starr's US narration of Percy Takes the Plunge was put on Best of Percy. His narration of Safe from Scrap and A New Friend for Thomas was put on Engine Friends in 2012. And his narration of Percy's Ghostly Trick and Woolly Bear were never released on any home video. His narration of Trouble in the Shed was also put on Engine Friends, so that means that Thomas Gets Tricked, James Learns a Lesson, Best of Percy, and Engine Friends are the only DVDs to feature Ringo Starr's US narrations. Also in 2009, when Lionsgate re-released most of the Thomas DVDs, they also released 8 DVDs with new covers, and 5 of those 8 with new titles. Make Someone Happy was retitled Really Useful Engines. Salty Secret was retitled Harvey to the Rescue. Thomas and His Friends Help Out was retitled Friends Help Out. Thomas and His Friends Get Along was retitled The Runaway Engine. And Thomas Comes to Breakfast was retitled Pop Goes the Diesel. Percy's Chocolate Crunch, James and the Red Balloon, and Best of Gordon were re-released in that style, but didn't get a name change. Now I'm going to attempt to explain which versions of Thomas Gets Tricked have Look Out for the Train on them. Now, the first tape to have that error came out in 1993. When Strain Home Video first released Thomas Gets Tricked with this cover, they re-released it with this label, but the master that they used was the one on the 1990 VHS, so it has the Strain VCI logo at the beginning of the tape, even though the Strain Home Video is on the label of the tape. This tape has that master, so Look Out for the Train is not on this tape. When they re-released it in 1993, they made a new master with the Strain Home Video logo at the beginning of the tape, and that version is the first version to have Look Out for the Train on it.
Look out for the train.
It should have this exact same label. And then in 1995, Video Treasures released 3 different versions of Thomas Gets Tricked, all with this cover. One of them has the same master as the 1990 VHS tape, so Look Out for the Train is not on that one. The second one has no opening logo, and the UK and US soundtracks overlap. On that one, you can faintly hear Look Out for the Train underneath the music. Those 2 tapes should have this label. And the third release is the famous one with the George Carlin narration and more episodes at the end. That one has this label, and Look Out for the Train is not on that one. The only other ones that we know of to have Look Out for the Train is the one released by Time Life in 1994, as well as the 2003 Anchor Bay release. Now let's give some corrections on things I previously said that are wrong, as well as elaborate on some other pieces of trivia. In part 3, there was a clip where I just couldn't use the original audio and I just forgot to record new audio, so here is that piece of trivia. In the pamphlet for Best of James, the pictures that they use for Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover and Harold the Helicopter are different than the ones on the actual DVD. And also on the pamphlet, it describes the quarry and says Cranky the Crane is very useful here. Also in part 4, I talked about DVDs that came with CD samplers. This to go along with that. Not only was Thomas's Songs and Outhouse Rhythms never released without a CD sampler, it was also released with 2 different CD samplers. One where it's a sample of Thomas's Songs and Outhouse Rhythms and contains the songs Thomas's Anthems, Great to Be an Engine, Real Useful Engine, and Let's Have a Race. And another where it's a sample of Thomas's Train Our Tracks and contains the songs Winter Wonderlands, The Snow Song, Come for the Ride, and Little Engines. My version is the Thomas's Songs and Outhouse Rhythms one, but when I found it at Goodwill, it didn't have the CD. Fun fact, when I found this at Goodwill, right next to it was the Percy's Chocolate Crunch with a CD sampler, but that was also missing the CD, so I only got this because it had the pamphlet as well. You know when I said that Percy's Ghostly Trick was the last DVD until Christmas on Sodor to list the episodes on the back? Well, actually, Percy in the Bandstand is the last DVD to list the episodes on the back until Christmas on Sodor. Also in part 4, when I talked about the Brenner-era DVDs, there's one line that I just forgot to say for some reason. On the DVD Signals Crossed, there's 5 episodes in the US release with 7 episodes in the UK release, but unlike Trouble on the Tracks, they never put the extra 2 episodes on another DVD, so that means that Toad's Bright Idea and Spencer's VIP were never released on DVD in America. And also George Carlin's narration of Edward Helps Out and Terrence the Tractor were never on Shining Time Station. Now let's do something I've never done before. Let's talk about some UK trivia. In the UK, they released Season 1 and 2 across 6 tapes in the late 80s, and then in 1992, they re-released those tapes with different titles and different covers. Thomas and Gordon was re-released as Thomas and the Trucks, with a picture from Henry's Forest on the cover. Troublesome Trucks was re-released as Thomas Goes Fishing with a picture from Trouble with Mud on the cover. Cole and Other Stories was re-released as Down the Mine and Other Stories with a picture from Wrong Road on the cover. Thomas, Percy and the Coal was re-released as Percy and the Signal with a picture from Percy and the Signal on the cover. At least they got that right. Percy and Harold was re-released as The Runaway with a picture from No Joke for James on the cover. And finally, The Deputation was re-released as Ghost Train with a picture from Percy and the Signal on it, which is actually on that release. The UK retailer Marks & Spencer's released their own version of The Very Best of Thomas and Friends with their logo on the top and the front picture smaller. They also made their own version of the Thomas Goes Fishing VHS, but no other releases. The UK tapes Time for Trouble and Trust Thomas had an early narration that was re-narrated for TV and later releases. Those had credits over a still of the last frame of each episode, when later releases just had a still of Thomas for the credits.
It was a cold winter's morning on the island of Sodor. The wind was bitter and the ground hard with frost. Thomas and Percy were cold and cross. It was a cold winter's morning on the island of Sodor. The wind was bitter and the ground hard with frost. Thomas and Percy were cold and cross.
The first UK DVD to be in widescreen was The Fogman back in 2002, but the first US DVD to be in widescreen was Spills and Thrills, a Season 17 DVD that came out in 2013. And what I mean by that is, even though Arthur's Tricky Travels on the Tales from the Tracks DVD is the first feature to be in widescreen on a US DVD, and Hero of the Rails is the first DVD where the main feature is in widescreen, Spills and Thrills is the first episodic DVD where all the episodes are in widescreen. And speaking of Spills and Thrills, there are a bunch of take-and-play products that advertised the episodes on it when it came out, but some of them were completely made up and not even based on any episode. Products like Stanley's Construction Clash, Whiff's Banana Blooper, and Bash's Tree Tumble, and also Harvey's Heavy Haul. I mean, technically, Gone Fishing was on Spills and Thrills, but this exact scenario didn't happen in that episode. On the back cover of the original release of the complete Series 6, there are a bunch of episodes that have different titles. It's Only Snow is called Trouble for Thomas, Buffer Bother is called Bill and Ben's Excellent Adventure, Jack Jumps In is called Jack Goes to Work, and Thomas the Jet Engine is called the American title Thomas and the Jet Engine. The Australian DVD of Happy Holidays advertises songs on the cover of the DVD, but it doesn't have songs. It was recalled quickly, which makes it one of the rarest Thomas DVDs in the world. On the complete Series 12, there is a second buffer beneath Thomas's buffer, but only on the slipcover and only on the back. So that was a bunch of random trivia and goofs about Thomas DVDs and VHSs. I hope you like it, and I hope you learn something that you'll never use in your life. Hey, Cole! My Oli. Hey, Cole! Meow.